Let us see the transfer movement performed in the hypothesis that the patient has lost his lower limbs. Even if a person has lost his lower limbs, amputation, paralysis, etc., the transfer movement can autonomously be performed, and this kind of patient learns it within the first weeks in the hospital. A wheelchair specifically designed for this kind of patient has a footrest designed to allow a simple management as not to waste time and energies for their removal from the maneuver space. We are now referring to a footrest frame wheeled with the main frame of the wheelchair or a removable footrest, as for the wheelchair in this video, that do not stand for an obstacle nor to bring the wheelchair as close as possible to the bed, nor for the lower limbs movement during the maneuver performance. Before nearing the bed, it is necessary to remove the footrest, or in any case to position it as it does not interfere with the lower limbs movement during the maneuver performance. Then the person can come close to the bed, bringing his knees in correspondence of the middle of the bed. We want to remember that the position of the knees with respect to the bed while a person is seated on a wheelchair gives a reliable prevision about where the pelvis will be on the bed once the transfer is completed. Now the person can lay his feet on the floor as to guarantee the necessary stability of the position and to unload the body weight directly on the floor. For the maximum safety of the maneuver, it is recommended that the person wears closed shoes with anti-slip soles. The person can move forward only in one move or by advancing one side of the pelvis at a time. Once the pelvis is close to the bed, the person, according to his motor skills, can remove or not the armrest. The armrest can represent an obstacle if the patient is not able to fully stand up. The farther end from the bed holds firmly the corresponding armrest, or alternatively, it lays on the cushion in closed fist. Then, the person bends forward to lay the other hand directly on the bed, leaving the necessary space for him to comfortably sit on the bed once the movement is completed. The maneuver can begin, and it is of some notice to realize that it is a movement performed with just the action of the upper limbs. The movement is started by a firm push of the farther upper limb, and it is completed through a continuous pulling of the closest upper limb. The lower limbs do not produce any voluntary movement, thus it is enough to wear closed shoes that can allow the tiptoes to pivot toward the bed. Now the patient correctly positions his feet and is then ready to perform activities in sitting position or to move toward the supine position. The movement from the bed towards the wheelchair is similar. The wheelchair has to be positioned as close as possible to the person's knee. If able, the patient nears the pelvis to the wheelchair. The farther hand from the wheelchair is in closed fist on the bed and as close as possible to the thigh. The closest hand to the wheelchair holds firmly on the armrest. As for the movement toward the bed, the maneuver is started by a push towards the new surface and is completed through a continuous pulling of the hand holding the armrest. Once the movement is completed, the footrest is put in place and the maneuver is completed.